Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause in a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Today I'm going to be talking about some anticipated releases for the fourth quarter of 2022. Believe it or not, we are inching closer and closer to the end of 2022. I can't tell if it's been a really quick year or a really long year. Some days it feels like both. I am here to talk to you about some anticipated releases for the fourth quarter, so October, November, and December of 2022. And I have a bunch on here, 11 books that I want to talk to you about that I'm really, really excited about. Now, publishing tends to not be as robust in December, so I only have 2 for that month, but October and November have some of my most anticipated releases of the entire year. They really did make me wait until the end. The first ones I want to talk to you about come out on October 11th. The first one is Lore Olympus Volume 3. Now, I read the first 2 volumes almost back to back in August, and I absolutely loved them. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, kind of a lot of the Greek gods, honestly, in this beautiful graphic art style. It is a Webtoons comic, so yes, I could technically read on in the Webtoons, but I don't like doing that. I actually haven't read Heartstopper Volume 5 or what she has going right now, because I like the feel of having it in print. I don't know. Is that weird? I can't really tell you a lot about this, but it's adorable. Hades is truly a cinnamon roll dog dad, and we love him. Also coming out on October 11th is The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. Now, this is a short story collection that is connected to the Daevabad trilogy, and it takes place before, during, and after the Daevabad trilogy. And so I'm just excited to get back into this world. One of my favorite things about this book and this series is the world building, and so just expanding on that world will be so much better. Be great. Then coming out on October 25th is The Atlas Paradox. This is the sequel to The Atlas 6, which I am currently reading right now and really enjoying. This is about 6 people that are vying for 5 spots at this prestigious society, and it's kind of like a fight to the death, trying to make alliances and things like that. And yeah, I'm very excited about this one. So something tells me that The Atlas 6 is probably going to end on a cliffhanger, and so not having to wait very long for its sequel is good for me. Will I read it before the end of the year? We don't know, because I can't stick to TBRs and stuff, but we'll see. All right, then moving on to November, we have a couple coming out on November 1st. The first one is Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane. This is Alison's sophomore novel. She is the one who wrote The Charm Offensive, and that made one of my best books of 2021. So I have high hopes for this. This is a sapphic romance that takes place around Christmas, and I'm here for this. Also coming out on November 1st is Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. This is a standalone that takes place in the same universe as Winter's Orbit. So it is a queer sci-fi adventure story, and this is about someone who is a mind reader, and on their own, mind readers can be very chaotic, can kind of be a security threat, but when they're controlled by someone else, then they're a rare asset. They can navigate through the chaotic space-time, and they can also obviously read minds. Helpful in little political stuff. So he is paired with someone else who ends up not consenting to control him, and so they kind of lie about it and pretend like he's controlled. So it's probably gonna be queer again. We love that. We love queer political sci-fi. Coming out on November 8th is probably one of my most anticipated reads of the entire year, and that is Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. This is the sequel to Legendborn that I read in January of 2021. I might have to reread it, but this is essentially a gender-bent Arthurian retelling. And so much happened at the end of Legendborn that I immediately wanted the sequel, and this kept getting pushed back because Legendborn came out in late 2020, and so having to wait 2 years for this next book has been torture. But yeah, Legendborn made one of my best books of 2021. even though it was one of the very first books that I read of the year. I am so excited for the sequel. Coming out on November 15th is Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. This is the third book in the Spoiler Alert series, where they're taking characters from their Gods of the Gates, which is kind of like their Game of Thrones spinoff, and they're all plus-size main heroes. This book is about Maria, and she had a one-night stand with somebody while filming, and then he just kind of left, and then now 6 years later, he is her co-star on Gods of the Gates. So it's beautiful. It's like a plus size romance. He is described as a thick-thighed Viking man. So here for that. Olivia Dade writes some of the most relatable and understandable plus size romances where you as a plus size person can really like see yourself as the main character. And there's so many things that it's just so relatable, and I love it. So, spoiler alert and All the Feels both made my top books of the respective years that I read them. I have no doubt that this one will as well. All right, and then on November 22nd, we have Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. I actually have already read this one. I gave it 5 stars. It's so relatable. Astrid has a bisexual awakening in her late 20s. You know, relatable, right? Okay? A lot of us can relate to that. I think that a lot of people are a little bit hesitant about this book because Astrid was not a favorite character in Delilah, but I absolutely loved her. I will do anything for her. Essentially, Astrid is kind of trying to put her life back together after events that happened in Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Without spoiling Delilah, I can't really tell you what that is. She's trying to put her life back together, and she is an interior designer. She gets this job to redesign an inn, and the granddaughter of that inn is a carpenter, and she is very opinionated, and they don't click at first. But then also she's really cute, so listen, the bisexual awakening in that book was amazing. 5 stars. Definitely pick this one up. Also coming out on November 22nd is At Midnight, 15 Beloved Fairy Tales Reimagined, and is edited by Dahlia Adler. Now, I love Dahlia Adler's solo work, but I've not read anything from her as a short story. In fact, I don't really love short stories. So this might seem like a weird thing to put on my anticipated releases, but this just sounds so amazing. They've taken 15 celebrated, diverse authors reclaiming classic fairy tales for a new generation. So Dahlia Adler does the Rumpelstiltskin, Tracy Dion is doing the Nightingale, Hafsa Fazell is doing Little Red Riding Hood, Darcy Little Badger is doing Puss in Boots. Melinda Lowe is going to be on there. Alex London, Anna Marie McLemore is doing the Nutcracker. Rory Power is doing Sleeping Beauty. There's gonna be a lot going on, and I love the idea of taking these classic fairy tales that are generally drenched in white supremacy, and designed around white supremacy, and letting marginalized authors and authors of color take a stab at them. Because I feel like they're gonna probably be better than the originals, let's be honest. Okay, and then I have 2 books coming out in December. The first one coming out on December 6th is What You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn, and this is the first in a rom-com, and it has a magicless witch in who's part of the family of the most powerful witches in the coven, the world, I don't really know. But the most powerful family of witches ever, according to the synopsis. And there is a little rivals to lovers romance, I'm sure, with this annoying guy that she has to be paired up with to try to save her family. I really enjoy Avery Flynn's writing. I've only read her sports romances, but she has this very funny tone of voice, and the dialogue is always really funny. And I have no doubt that this one is going to as well. It gives me very Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but aged up to an adult romance kind of rom-com vibe to it. And I'm here for that. Lastly, coming out on December 13th is A Million to One by Adiba Jagadar. This is the author who wrote Hana and Ishu's Guide to Not Dating, as well as The Henna Wars, and this is sold as the Titanic meets Ocean's 8. and these 4 girls are, they don't have anything in common except for this one goal of trying to steal this jewel-encrusted book that will be the ticket to all of their problems, so they have to get onto the Titanic. But obviously, like, you know, things are not going to be as easy as it seems. It seems like it's going to be a really fun book to read, kind of really exciting, adventure-y, and this cover is stunning. Like, it's not usually my normal type of cover that I would enjoy, or like that looks like a classic book cover. It honestly more looks like a movie cover, and I'm here for this. I love it. So very excited about this one. Okay, those are the books coming out in the last quarter of the year that I am excited about. I am sure that I missed some, so let me know down below what books you are excited for the end of the year. That is all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video. If you would like to hang out with me more, I do have my very own Patreon. We have a Discord and other exclusive perks. That link is down below, as well as the link to my Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.